Chief, would you guys like to start with a brief synopsis or something, or whatever?
Greetings. Yeah, I'm not going to go line for line and keep
No.
you guys here till midnight. So a brief overview of this year's budget proposal from the police department is generally similar to the budget proposals from years past. We tend to keep the numbers pretty similar to what we have in the past. We're not asking for anything extravagant or major project-wise, just operating expenses to keep the PD running. With that said, I'll run through some of the budget line items that may have an increase for one thing or another, and then I'll entertain questions at the end if somebody has something particular they want to hear about. From the beginning, bear with me here. The major one, of course, salaries and things are set by the collective bargaining. First one I'll go over is the police range and supplies budget. Had an increase from last year, mainly due to training and duty ammunition costs are increasing, and that is beyond our control. It costs more and it's hard to get, so we are pretty much at the mercy of the market. We try to shop around when we can. Anything additional, we're asking for a couple more duty pistols so that we have spare pistols, which we actually don't have at the moment, and we probably should. In case somebody's malfunctions or has an issue, we can issue them another pistol right away, which we can't do at the moment. And then we are going to purchase new magazines for all the patrol rifles. They actually have a life, and we prefer to have new springs and new magazines rather than going with the old ones that possibly can malfunction when you need them the most. That's just that budget that with the increases we're asking for, along with the yearly supply cost for the range, which is usually a fixed $10,000 every year. Moving on from any questions on police range and supplies. Next will be, I'm just looking for training and education. We upped a little bit. This year we are hoping for to actually send one of our lieutenants to the FBI National Academy. There's the academy itself is offered free of charge by the FBI, but there are incidentals that we need to pay for as far as some training supplies and uniforms, things of that nature. So we put some in the budget for that. Most of the police training classes that we send our officers to, and we're required to send them to training, is about $300 to $600 per officer, which is why our training budget is so high. We are a well-trained department, and we send our officers as much training as possible. I think that reflects in the job they do for this city. Again, the budget, it's not up that high from last year, but again, we are looking to send some people to some more advanced training this year.
I have a question, Chief. So this FBI training, they pay for that. Do they reimburse wages? Yeah. Do they reimburse wages?
No. No, we pay the salary. The schooling is free, the stay at Quantico and things like that, but no, the FBI won't reimburse the salary of the officer, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, I'm having computer issues. Hold on, folks. Why'd that happen? There we go. Moving on. Patrol squads, we kept the same. Unmarked squads, we kept the same. Clothing allowance, we've kept the same. I know that this may end up going up depending on contract negotiations. I know they're asking for more in the contract. I guess we'll see where that goes once contract negotiations are finished. Lexipol went up just a little bit, but that's what they're billing us. Their costs tend to go up every couple years. And Lexipol is our policy and procedures manual, which is we subscribe to the service and they update our policies and procedures to be in line with everybody else in the state and the country. Investigations, we have upped the budget for investigations a bit this year because we needed to buy more Axon which is our camera system. We have to buy the licenses for the detectives to be able to use the devices. We also are asking for a Leads Online account this year, which is a bump up. And Leads Online is a program that we use for locating stolen property throughout the state. If something is stolen here in Wisconsin Rapids and pawned in Milwaukee, it'll pop up on this database, and we'll know that item was pawned in Milwaukee, and then we can check in with that pawn shop to get the information of the offender. It's actually quite effective. And then we are also asking for secure data pads for our detectives. It's similar to the MDT that's in the squad cars. This secure data pad allows the detectives on a crime scene to access the same information that a patrol officer can access from his squad, which is a capability they don't have at the moment. So we're trying to fix that. Oh, it worked this time, good. Canine remained the same. Let's go to page 2. Bear with me, folks. The outlay has, we are asking for some items in outlay this year. We have to replace some tasers, and the tasers are actually fairly expensive, but they are worth every penny, as you all well know. But we need to replace 7 tasers this year at a price, with the extended warranty, they're about $1,500 a piece. Currently, a lot of our tasers have actually had their warranties expire, and it would be, in some cases, more expensive to repair the taser than to replace the taser because of the way that they're manufactured and things. So we're asking for 7 of those this year. Right now, they're closed. Oh, and this was, I'm not sure if this was supposed to go with IT's budget or not, but we included, we were asking for Panasonic Tough Books, which are the MDTs that go in the squads. We are in dire need of replacing the old MDTs. The IT guys would testify to the fact that they spend quite a bit of time down at the PD trying to fix our computers. The in-car computers, that's our lifeblood at the PD. We can't do anything without them. We can't even write a ticket without the MDTs anymore. So they're something that we can't do without. So we're requesting that we replace 8 of the MDTs at a cost of about $3,000 a piece. Again, these are items that we just actually can't do without. We're also, to round it out for outlay, we're asking for some radios, which are, at the police department, we do a cycle where we replace a certain number of items per year, and radios are included in that category, where we'll replace, say, 4 radios in an 8-year cycle, rather than buying them all at once at a huge price tag. We try to rotate through so that it's not so painful all at once. So this year we're asking for 4 radios. And we are also asking for the accessories for those radios. And the last but not least, we are, again, we replace items in a cycle. And this year we have to replace 11 sets of ballistic armor for the officers. The armor expires at the end of 5 years. They have to replace them every 5 years. This year, 11 sets are going to expire in 2022. Luckily, we have to pay the upfront cost, which is why we budget the money we do for the vests, but we also are a recipient of the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant. So once we pay for them and submit the paperwork, we receive half the money back for these vests. Doesn't happen right away, but it does happen. Any questions so far?
What's the 40 millimeter launcher?
That is, let me get to that. It's for patrol. It's going to be stored in the ship's commander's squad. It's used for gas in case of a riot situation. The tactical team has one. We're requesting one for patrol so that it can be kept in the patrol supervisor's vehicle, because if it's needed, it's needed, and for it to get to the SWAT equipment would take quite some time. So. Last year, we ordered a bunch of riot shields, and because the department didn't have any of that gear and equipment, and we realized the need for it, unfortunately. Next would be police department vehicles are would be our next big ticket item. Again, we do a rotation for vehicles. We don't replace them all at once. We try to replacement rotation. This year, we're asking for 2 patrol units and 1 administrative unit, which is in the rotation. The patrol units will be, a Dodge Ram patrol unit, a Dodge Durango patrol unit, and a van for our CIT negotiators, which the van will be used as not only for our negotiators and a crisis intervention team guys at a scene where they could, talk somebody down. It'll also be used as a mobile command post at a scene where we would need it. We don't have that capability at the moment. So we're requesting that be our administrative vehicle this year rather than buying a vehicle for detectives. I've kind of gone through the big ticket items. No real major increases in any of the other accounts. I'm willing to entertain questions on any of the accounts you guys may have a question about as far as a piece of equipment or what we're using this for or anything along those lines.
Hey, Tom? Yeah. Just to let you know, also, full disclosure, when we met with the chief and the deputy chief, they did request also an additional officer.
Yes, sir, we
Which
did. That's
is-
not included in the budget, but that's on our wish list.
Yeah, but so I just want to kind of let the council know that that's out there, that request, and that's about $100,000 for additional officer. And then they had also brought up, and we had discussed a new garage out
Yeah,
at
the
their.
pole barn at the range, yeah.
Yep, at the pole barn for their evidence storage of vehicles and whatever else they store out there, and that's additional $200,000. And those 2 items were not included in the budget, especially because we didn't know where we would be if we had an extra, if we came out lucky this year and had extra money that we're trying to figure out where we could allocate it to. That those are a couple items out there, just for your information.
Yes.
Yep.
Turn my mic back on. Ask a question about?
Tom, I got one quick,
Who's that?
right here.
Oh, gee.
Thanks. So it's
Screen if we had somebody jumping in that way. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead, Jay.
thank you. So it looks like it's been consistent as far as our structure of lieutenants, detectives, sergeants over the past several years. Is this on pace with or would it align with what other cities of our size have seen too? Would they have a similar amount of detectives, sergeants, and lieutenants?
Yes, a city of our size, we have, as far as the lieutenants and supervisory personnel, we're doing very well. Of course, I would always ask for more patrol officers because that's where our greatest need is actually the boots on the ground taking the calls. The number of detectives we are fine with. We have 4 detectives and a supervisor, and I believe that is good for a city this size and the workload that they have. As far as supervision, I think that we have enough supervisors as far as sergeants, lieutenants. So yeah, I'd say that we're on par with most cities our size that take our type of call load, yes.
Anything else, Jake? Thank you. Anybody else? Otherwise, I thank the department for their input, for your report that you were giving out, gave out and put together beforehand and everything, and the input that you gave us today. And through this, we'll be looking it over and mulling it amongst ourselves and whatever we will do to come up with a final budget here in I think that, what, next week already, is it that? I think November, 9th is our hearing, is that it already? 2 weeks, or maybe it's 2 weeks yet, 2 weeks maybe. Get things kind of finalized for final hearing on the budget, so see where we go. So with that, if there's nothing else from anybody, I guess you guys are free to go if you want to.
Want to thank the committee and thanks for having us, and
Okay,
I hope you're good to us.
thank you. With that, we'll take a short break. All right, is the fire crew here?
I was thinking maybe just, unless I got the time wrong, we could have them come back, see if they can come Thursday for our meeting, and just have them at the beginning of the meeting, they can go over their budget.
Todd knew, I think.
I know, unless they, the only thing is maybe they got the time wrong, maybe they're thinking 6, I don't know. But